Hello Chillify channel, I'm ready. My mother was run over by a semi-truck. She was still clinging to life, but the driver ran over her again, crushing her head. In court, he calmly folded his arms, saying, "I thought it was a dog. If it dies, it dies." Behind his back, he smirked sinisterly, pleased. He thought, "Good thing I ran her over and killed her. I'll get insurance compensation. If she had been crippled, who knows how she would have blackmailed me." Reborn, the person crushed under his wheels, had become his own mother. Our neighbor, Zhang Tiansheng, drove a 13-meter-long truck. Every time he came home, there was a thundering roar. Almost the entire apartment building could hear him parking. He wasn't home often, and I rarely interacted with him. By the time I received the call and rushed back from work, I didn't even recognize the blood-stained man. He made a disgusted tusk sound and backed away. The person on the ground was already dead. Brains splattered everywhere, a mix of red and white. It was my mother. In that moment, it felt like lightning struck. My ears rang, and I couldn't hear anything. All I could see before my eyes was my mother's distorted face, her mouth agape, eyes wide open, her expression still etched with the agonizing pain of her last moments. I felt like I was dreaming. My father lost control, screaming as he lunged at the driver, grabbing him by the throat. "Why are there 2 tire marks? She could have lived. You intentionally killed her." The driver, tall and burly, had a fleeting look of panic cross his dark face, but it was just for a moment. He irritably pushed my father away. "Who's this crazy old man? 1 tire mark, 2 tire marks, what do I know? Big trucks are busy. If your wife doesn't have eyes, what the hell does that have to do with me?" Smack. My father punched him hard in the face. The 2 men lunged at each other. Many curious onlookers stared, but quickly turned away in disgust, endlessly dry heaving. I felt like I couldn't breathe anymore. My mother, who just this morning said she'd wait for me to come home to make soup, how could she be this mangled mess in front of me? The police arrived and separated my father and Zhang Tiansheng. They looked at me, the only person who seemed calm at the scene. "Are you the deceased's daughter?" "No." The next second, I choked, blood boiling in my head, my vision blurred, and I collapsed. The tire marks on my mother's body indeed showed 2 tracks, one on her leg, one on her head. Forensic examination confirmed the head injury was inflicted later and was even more severe. At the mediation table, my father burst into tears and pulled a knife from his pocket. "Are you even human? Today, I will make you pay with your life for my wife." Zhang Tiansheng recoiled in terror, pushing his chair back, but my father was immediately restrained by the police. After letting out a frustrated sigh, Zhang Tiansheng angrily kicked the table. "Ding gongaming, you dare to use a knife on me? Come on, try to kill me and see if you'll rot in prison." He wasn't afraid at all, even pointing to his own neck. My father's eyes were bloodshot as he roared, "You're clearly the murderer, you're facing the death penalty." Who knew Zhang Tiansheng wouldn't flinch at those words? His eyes darted between us before he bared his yellowed teeth. "Murder? What murder? Are there cameras? I thought it was a dog, if it dies, it dies." As soon as he finished speaking, I grabbed the cup of water in front of me and flung the hot tea straight into his face. A sizzling sound. He jumped up, scalded, and pointed his finger at me, shouting, "You little brat, try to lay a hand on me again, you motherless hussy." My fingertips dug into my palm. I lunged forward and slapped him twice. "You still dare to say you have a mother? You son of a bitch, you must pay with your life." The police didn't expect such strength from a small girl and couldn't stop me in time. Zhang Tiansheng's hands were bound, so he couldn't fight back. The confusion and agony that had accumulated for hours suddenly erupted. I slapped and kicked him, unable to stop myself from sobbing uncontrollably. That was my mother. From today on, I no longer had a mother. Zhang Tiansheng screamed in agony, "Stop her! What are the police doing? Get her off me." A few minutes later, 2 people finally pulled me away, urging me to calm down. "If you don't accept mediation, you can appeal." My father immediately slammed the table, deciding to appeal. "We will appeal right away." But at that moment, a sneering laugh echoed from the other side. Zhang Tiansheng leaned back in his chair, fearless. "Appeal? Fine, go ahead. You can try." I specifically sought out a law school friend. I gritted my teeth. I was determined to get him convicted, at least to life imprisonment. My friend and I reviewed the case process over and over. He looked at my bloodshot eyes and sighed. "You haven't slept in days, have you?" "That's right, I haven't closed my eyes for days. Every time I do, I see my mother's blood-soaked eyes as if pleading for help, but I'm powerless." I took a deep breath, my head a little dizzy. I never thought such a major incident would happen to me. My mother was over 50, recently retired, and planned to contribute a little to the community, sweeping the streets morning and night. She had never done anything bad her entire life, so why did she die like this? I dazedly collapsed onto the sofa, my chest heaving with sobs. My friend patted my shoulder and after a long silence only said 4 words, "I'll do my best." But in court, Zhang Tiansheng completely changed his arrogant attitude from before, his eyes red and swollen. I truly didn't know it was a person. I was just in the driver's seat and thought it was an obstacle. "Wah, I'll pay all the money." He feigned confusion and innocence, as if he had only just learned of my mother's death. The trial lasted only an hour, but it seemed to drain all the life force from my father and me. Accidents involving semi-trucks are not uncommon. We were not the only case. There were no cameras in the apartment complex, and Zhang Tiansheng adamantly denied seeing a person behind him. He had also purchased full third-party liability insurance. The first instance court's verdict was that the driver was irresponsible, ordering compensation of 200,000 yuan through insurance. My father, an honest man, dared not say anything in court. On the way home, he tugged my hand, bewildered. "Jiang Kaio, why is this the result? Your mother clearly died. Could it really have been unintentional?" I pressed my lips together, my heart bleeding. I didn't know. When despair reached its peak, I even wanted to deceive myself. But that night in the hallway, my father and I overheard a conversation between neighbors. "Son, does killing someone really cost money?" "Mom, let me tell you, if it had been that old woman Liu Na, one life could have burdened us for a lifetime. Good thing I deliberately ran her over and killed her. Anyway, the insurance will cover it, so it's not a waste of my 20,000 yuan annual premium." I froze, while my father charged forward. Zhang Tiansheng and his mother, Zhang Ziu, were on the upstairs landing. In the old apartment building, under the dim light, they were startled. "Who's there? What are you doing?" My father grabbed the iron shoe rack from the corner, going insane. "You damned murderer, today I'm going to kill you." My father was overly agitated, and Zhang Tiansheng dodged the blow. Zhang Ziu shielded him. As longtime neighbors, she recognized my father instantly. "Old man, you already got 200,000 yuan, what more do you want? Her old body isn't even good enough for my dog. Dying was a release for her, and it even benefited you people." This very statement completely ignited my father's rage. He lost all reason. In Zhang Tiansheng's horrified eyes, the shoe rack crashed against his head with a clatter. When I ran over, Zhang Tiansheng had fallen in a pool of blood. But he wasn't dead. He only suffered a concussion and a broken arm. Zhang Ziu insisted her son was in a coma, a vegetable demanding 200,000 yuan for medical expenses. My father, on the other hand, was convicted of attempted murder and sentenced to 3 years in prison. The day he went to jail, his eyes were blank, continuously calling my mother's name. I cried, hugging him. He seemed to struggle to recognize me. "Jiang Kaio, tell me, will I ever see your mother again?" My throat felt choked by a damp cotton ball. I couldn't speak. Outside the prison, I sat for a very, very long time. I didn't know what I had done wrong, but everything was shattered. My life had been destroyed by Zhang Tiansheng. Not long after, the prison reported that my father had gone insane and committed suicide by banging his head against the wall. I calmly and coldly buried him, then stood before their 2 graves and slashed my wrists. In the last moments before I lost consciousness, I vaguely saw a figure emanating a white light, just like my mother. Kaio Jiang Kaio," I startled awake. The figure was clear, my mother's familiar face smiling. "Still sleeping soundly? This girl, Mom's going to the market with Auntie Ziu. What do you want to eat? I'll make it for you." I dazedly looked towards the door. The person standing there was none other than Zhang Tiansheng's mother, Zhang Ziu, smiling as she linked arms with my mother. It took me half a minute to collect myself, then I stepped forward and swung my hand, delivering a hard slap to her face. "You damned old woman, you're good at pretending to be a good person, aren't you?" A crisp asterisk smack asterisk sound, and Zhang Ziu's nose bled on the spot. She screamed twice and then plopped onto the ground, trembling as she pointed at me. You hit me, you dare to hit me, today I won't get up." My eyes were bloodshot. I gritted my teeth. "That's right, I'm hitting your whole damned family of beasts." Just a moment ago, I was wondering if this was an illusion or a dream. Whatever it was, I wished I could kill Zhang Tiansheng and his mother. My mother and Zhang Ziu always had a good relationship, having been neighbors for years, just a door apart. They went to the market and danced in the square together. But after my mother was killed by her son, she not only showed no remorse, but went around spreading rumors that we were blackmailing her family, cursing my mother for not dying sooner. She even fabricated a story that my mother had a terminal illness and deliberately tried to defraud the insurance company. My father argued with everyone everywhere, but no one believed him. That's why he became so agitated, and his mental state grew increasingly unstable. Thinking of this, my fists clenched even tighter. Zhang Ziu cried on the ground. "Oh, my old body, I'm calling the police. You've crippled me." My mother was a little panicked, trying to help her up, but I pulled her back. I looked around and scoffed. "Did I hit you? Are there cameras? Anyone who saw me would have thought you were a dog in front of me. I'm just returning all the words your son said in my past life." Zhang Ziu was so angry her nose twisted. She extended her clawed hands, intending to grab my leg. I slammed the door shut, then turned to my mother and said seriously, "Mom, from now on, you absolutely must not interact with their family." I was prepared for my mother to scold me, but to my surprise, she just looked at me, wiped her hands on her apron, and smiled. "My daughter has always been the best behaved. She must have provoked you first." I froze, my nose stinging. Actually, it had only been a little over half a month since my mother's accident, but it felt like a lifetime. The next second, the lock suddenly moved. I immediately became alert. The person who opened the door was my father. He was panting, and when he saw my mother, his eyes turned red. At this moment, I seemed to understand something. That night, our door was pounded on. I looked through the peephole, meeting a pair of murky eyes. My heart pounded. I immediately recognized him, Zhang Tiansheng. Yes, the moment I was reborn was 3 days before my mother's accident. Zhang Tiansheng had returned with a delivery. I opened the door. Sure enough, he was with Zhang Ziu. He was only wearing shorts, and as soon as he opened his mouth, a strong stench emanated. "Ding gongaming, you stinking brat, you hit my mother." He pointed at my nose, intending to poke my face. "Do you think I don't know the law? There are your fingerprints on my mother's face. Today, if you don't pay 70 or 80,000, I'll send you to jail." As he spoke, Zhang Ziu stumbled to one side, pretending to be disoriented. "My head hurts so much. Where am I? I don't remember anything." My temple twitched. These two foolish mother and son were indeed both devious and malicious. Zhang Tiansheng held a phone, poised to call the police, and laughed maniacally. "See, my mother was hit so hard she became stupid. This isn't over, you just wait to pay me." I sneered, simultaneously taking a step back. "Oh, really? Money I don't have, but other things I have enough." He didn't understand. And the next second, someone rushed out from behind me, carrying a basin of foul-smelling, pungent liquid, and poured it all over Zhang Ziu's face. The stench shot to the heavens, and the person on the ground immediately jumped up. She screamed, "What the hell is this?" I tilted my head. "That's dog urine for washing your face. Oh, you can stand up now. Seems like brain paralysis can be cured, huh?" Anticipating that these two would come to cause trouble, my father and I had specifically gone to the pet store next door to get a large basin of it. Zhang Tiansheng went berserk, roaring and swinging his fist. "You cheap hussy, you're playing dirty. Do you think I'm easy to bully if I don't show off?" he charged. I took the remaining half of the basin and poured it directly into his wide-open mouth. "That taste is truly delightful," I giggled. "Drink plenty, it'll cool you down." He angrily tried to punch me again. My father slowly pulled out a chainsaw from behind him. The roaring sound stunned both mother and son. "You're trespassing on private property. What if you bump into my chainsaw?" Zhang Tiansheng and Zhang Ziu gritted their teeth, but suppressed by force, they didn't dare to charge. Their fingerprints had also been washed away, so they couldn't call the police. Finally, they walked away, constantly looking back. Zhang Tiansheng pointed at my face, threatening, "You beast, just you wait." I silently replied with a smile, gently forming the words with my lips. "All right, let's see who kills whom." In my past life, Zhang Tiansheng killed my mother and destroyed my entire family. I had no intention of being polite with him. All that talk about courtesy before force and calculating every step was nonsense. Just seeing his disgusting face made my teeth ache with hatred. I just wanted to skin him alive and pull out his tendons. If heaven had given me a second chance, if I couldn't kill him, then I would have lived in vain. After Zhang Tiansheng left, my mother opened the bedroom door, indignantly saying, "Why didn't you let me out? I'm so angry. Who's the owner of this house anyway? He's bullying my husband and daughter." My father was very flustered, scratching his forehead, and immediately changed the subject. "Kinglin, are you hungry? Shall I make you some late-night snack?" I chimed in. I'm hungry. I want to eat dumplings." My mother finally smiled and followed my father into the kitchen. I breathed a sigh of relief. My father and I, both reborn, were resolute that we absolutely could not let my mother get involved in feuds. The tragedy of the past life was too horrific. We didn't want her to be scared. Reborn, I only wished for her to live a little happier. Back in my room, I immediately opened my computer and searched for recent traffic accidents. Then I took a cold breath. Several cases implicated Zhang Tiansheng as the defendant. The deceased were all run over by trucks. There were even trial videos online, with family members crying desperately, but without exception, they all lost their cases. Zhang Tiansheng's defense in court was identical to his past life. Looking at the familiar images, I nearly ground my teeth to dust. Finally, I understood where his confidence in my past life came from. He was a complete murderer. I searched for a long time and finally found a post from a victim's family. This devil confessed privately to us. He ran over someone and directly crushed them to death. My younger sister just got into the music academy. She could have had a bright future. Truck driver Zhang Tiansheng, give my sister her life back. There were many supporters below, but 2 years had passed and no one cared about the post anymore. The family's continuous posts were gradually submerged by the big data algorithm. I went to his private messages and typed a single sentence. Contact me, I can help you. Early the next morning, that victim's family member arrived at the location I'd arranged. But who would have thought Zhang Tiansheng would block the door? Where are you going, little sister? Yesterday's matter isn't over yet. His eyes were sinister. I coldly scoffed and raised the chainsaw, but who knew he would be so shameless as to start unzipping his pants? Oh, impressive, such soft hands. Don't hold a chainsaw, hold mine instead, it'll feel good. I gritted my teeth, pulled out my phone and took a picture. He gave a lewd smile. Who are you sending that to? I'm only 10 years older than you. Why don't you just stay with me? My mother will forgive this daughter-in-law. I closed the door, printed the photo, specifically editing his face a little. Then I hired someone to paste 500 large-letter posters upstairs, downstairs, and in the park. Room 302, size only 0, call for contact. Not long after, the neighbor's door was almost hammered down, with burly men everywhere. What are you pretending for? This old man can't wait anymore. Open the door quickly, I'll make sure you have a good time. Inside, furious curses erupted. Which idiots are these? Get out of here, I'll curse your whole family. Outside, someone pulled off his pants, his eyes squinted lewdly. Keep cursing, I love hearing it. Zhang Tiansheng couldn't take it anymore. He opened the door, and just as he was about to make a move, he realized the other person was even bigger than him. He recoiled in fear, a hint of narcissism in his voice. I know you think I'm handsome, but I only like women. As soon as Zhang Tiansheng finished speaking, a slap landed on his face. The man outside the door looked at Zhang Tiansheng, his mouth twitching. A face like a toad, and you dare to Photoshop yourself to be gay. This old man hasn't even eaten yet and already wants to vomit. What bad luck. I hid inside, laughing heartily, already imagining Zhang Tiansheng's face like he'd swallowed a fly. The entire day, the next-door apartment was anything but quiet. Finally, I could leave with peace of mind. My mother sat on the sofa watching TV, asking, Zhang Kaio, why is it so noisy outside today? I don't know, Mom. Seems like there's a gay man next door. Oh, she nodded, seemingly unsurprised. My eyes were fixed on her face. I always felt that after being reborn, my mother seemed to have changed a little. In the kitchen, meat was simmering, filling the whole house with a delicious aroma. My father was watering flowers on the balcony. At this moment, whatever had changed no longer mattered. I gritted my teeth, telling myself, Mom, this life I will definitely protect you. I met the person I had arranged to meet at the park and got what I needed. Then I installed a new lock on our door. Today was the 2nd of the month. In my past life, my mother died on the 4th. On the afternoon of the 4th at 5:43 p.m., she was hit and killed by Zhang Tiansheng while going to the market. In this life, Zhang Tiansheng's doomsday would begin from this moment, because I knew that on that day, there was actually someone walking behind my mother. When the truck sped towards her, that person screamed and directly pulled my mother away. If it hadn't been for my mother, the person run over by the truck would have been her. And that person was Zhang Tiansheng's mother, Zhang Ziu. Recalling this, I clenched my fists. The karma that mother and son deserved. No one would escape it. My father had taken time off in advance, planning to stay home with my mother these 2 days. But that afternoon, he suddenly came into my room and asked, Zhang Kaio, that Auntie Zhang Ziu, should we really just watch her die and not save her? I froze, looking at him in surprise. My father was also over 50, honest his entire life, taught since childhood by society to enthusiastically do what was right and help those in distress. Indeed, for him, to see death and not save was akin to murder. But I was different. The one who killed my mother must die. I was thinking how to phrase my words when I noticed the neighborhood chat group suddenly exploded. My phone rang continuously. Room 301, get out. What about corrupting children? Truly, the older one gets, the more shameless. Tang Kinglin, right? I knew it. Always wearing flashy clothes all day. My eyes widened. Tang Kinglin was my mother's name. I quickly scrolled up and finally saw the previous messages. 302 Zhengziu, excuse me, where can I report a streetwalker? She's an old woman, but the sight of her is disgusting. 504, who's a streetwalker? 302 Zhengziu, I find it hard to say. And she's an old close friend of mine, I really don't want to see her fall so low. Lately, she hasn't even come dancing in the square with me. 101, Zhengziu's close friend? Isn't that Tang Kinglin next door? 304 Ding Gongaming, I told you. Why are there so many noisy men in our hallway lately, loitering right up to people's doors? 302 Zhengziu, that's right, and she often knocks on our door by mistake, it's infuriating. 101, indeed, I haven't seen Tang Kinglin go out lately. This is truly insane. My hands trembled with anger. I had planned everything, but I never imagined there could be such a despicable person in the world. My mother had always considered Zhengziu a friend, yet she stabbed her in the back. I glanced sideways. My father was gone. He came out of the kitchen, a knife gripped tightly in his hand. Jiang Kaio, I take back what I said. Damn it, those mother and son deserve to die. Now, even if I don't stab them to death, I have to make them suffer. Rage burned in my heart, but I still urged my father to calm down first. My mother was taking a nap in her room and probably hadn't seen her phone yet. Calling the police was the best option, but who knew the neighbors would come knocking first? Opening the door revealed an ugly, wrinkled face. Zhang Tiansheng had a toothpick in his mouth, smirking. Oh, why aren't you so arrogant this time? Not sending men to me anymore? Oh, it turns out all the men are in your mother's bed now, huh? He laughed wildly. I held the door frame tightly, preventing my father from charging out. Zhang Tiansheng pointed at my father's nose. You damned old man, you want to fight too? Come on, come on. My father's face was flushed red, but he understood it wasn't the time to act. As for me, I was wondering, where was the limit for a completely evil person, or did he even have one? I pursed my lips and uttered a few words. Your mother is dead. To my surprise, Zhang Tiansheng laughed loudly. Little sister, even your insults are so gentle. Do you need me to teach you? I said coldly. I'm not insulting anyone. My gaze rested on Zhengziu's face. She seemed very proud of her son. Zhengziu's husband died early, and she had only this one son. Mother and son relied on each other, their relationship was very good, so much so that their moral standards were identical. Zhang Tiansheng was a cunning, shameless thug, and Zhengziu was no better. She glared at me. If you want your mother's reputation back, then kneel and apologize to me and pay me 20,000 yuan. I ignored her and suddenly said to Zhang Tiansheng, did you intentionally run over quite a few people before? His body stiffened for a moment, but very quickly he laughed brazenly. That's right, I intentionally ran them over. Who knows, maybe one day I'll run you over too. I took out a photo. On it were memorial pictures of 2 other deceased people. If you don't clear my mother's name today, I can send you to jail. Do you believe me? Zhang Tiansheng's eyes widened uncontrollably, perhaps from the pangs of conscience for killing people. He started to stammer, where did you get those? Zhengziu was also surprised, but she first elbowed Zhang Tiansheng. Idiot, the case is closed. Where would she get the ability to send you to jail? Stop pretending, quickly hand over 20,000 yuan. It's just enough for my son to pay this year's insurance premium. Zhang Tiansheng immediately reacted, continuing, that's right, this old man's insurance costs me 20,000 yuan a year, so what if it buys one life? He spoke shamelessly, without a trace of remorse, which made me recall how he had trampled on my mother's life in my past life. Mentioning these 2 cases, he became more and more pleased as he spoke. They deserved to die. Who knows, maybe they were trying to blackmail me, waiting to be crippled so they could blackmail me for life. Damn it, good calculation, lucky I'm smart. Zhengziu also chimed in. That's right, 1 or 2 people just shamelessly rush in front of big trucks. They must be jealous they don't have cars to drive. Hearing every word, only malicious could describe her face. But this time, there was no anger in my heart, only a cold smile. Just wait. I'm already looking forward to Zhengziu's death tomorrow. The noise at the door indicated my mother seemed to be awake. Zhang Ziu also heard it and deliberately spoke loudly. "Are you sleeping well, little sister?" I kicked her. Before she could scream, I grabbed her by the collar and said coldly, "Old woman, remember to bathe thoroughly tonight to prepare for your journey." Then I slammed the door shut and called the police. Slander and blackmail are difficult to prosecute, but at least it could bother them for a while, and that was enough. I was quicker. Before my mother opened her phone, I snatched it, left the chat group, and deleted all history. She looked bewildered. "Kyo, what are you doing? Don't leave Mom's market group. We're meeting to pick up vegetables tomorrow afternoon." So that's it. I returned the phone to her and said seriously, "Don't bother. After tomorrow, we'll go to a restaurant." She didn't refuse, agreeing very naturally. She playfully pushed me. "All right, I know you think Mom's cooking isn't good." "Who said that?" "My mother's cooking is the best in the world. I just want to eat many, many more meals with you." The rumors outside were all blocked by my father and me, never reaching my mother. The next morning, I heard the semi-truck rumble to life again, just like in my past life. It seemed that important timelines really couldn't be interfered with. Zhang Tiansheng had to go out for deliveries. This was his lifelong career, not something my rebirth could easily change. Immediately after, my head buzzed. So, was the time of my mother's death considered an important timeline? Suddenly, I felt as if I could transcend time and space, seeing my own helplessness and despair in my past life. Past, present, and future intertwined today. Could fate truly be changed? My palms were sweating. Yes, it must be possible. "Jiang Kyo, what are you mumbling about? Go water the flowers on the balcony." My mother sat in the living room, cracking melon seeds and watching TV, ordering me around. I came to my senses and answered, then saw my father also being sent out to buy fertilizer. Yet, it was during the 5 minutes I was on the balcony that it happened. My mother opened the door. A tragic scream. Her hair was pulled tightly. "You old hussy, tell me the truth. My husband hasn't been home for days. Have you been seducing him?" My mother was in too much pain to understand. "Who is your husband?" The woman was enraged. "Auntie Ziu just told me. It's all because you're in this building all day seducing others. Give me back my husband." My mother wasn't one to be easily bullied. She directly kicked the woman in the stomach. "Man or woman, this is no place for you to cause trouble. If Auntie Ziu knows where your husband is, go find her." The next second, the woman lost control, pulling out a gleaming fruit knife from her bag and screaming as she lunged at my mother. "My husband is gone. If you don't give him back, then die." I came out from the balcony and saw this scene. I threw the watering can and charged towards the door, but it was too late. I couldn't stop it. I watched helplessly as the knife was about to stab my mother's heart. Could all of this truly not be changed? The next second, the woman suddenly stumbled sideways. My father rushed out from behind, swinging a bag of groceries and hitting the woman hard on the head. The knife fell. I immediately kicked it away, my whole body trembling uncontrollably. Not just me, my father too. Our eyes met, filled with the confusion and astonishment after escaping disaster. The woman screamed, "Today I couldn't kill you, but I will kill you later. You just wait. I'll ask 302 to testify for me that you seduced my husband." 302 again. At the same time, the screech of urgent brakes echoed from downstairs. 2 seconds later, someone shouted, "Stop, you hit someone." The truck on the road stopped for a moment, but the driver didn't get out. Someone shouted, "You hit their leg, help them up quickly." But immediately after, the truck's rear wheels suddenly swerved, not only failing to move away but crushing towards another direction. Zhang Tiansheng in the driver's seat cursed, "Damn bad luck, another one trying to blackmail me. Let's see if I don't run you over and kill you." The face under the truck was Zhang Ziu, bearing a 6/10 resemblance to Zhang Tiansheng. She screamed in pain, "Tiansheng, it's Mom, it's me, son." The next second her voice died, the wheel crushing her face, extinguishing all life. Her final expression was identical to my mother's, extreme pain but also disbelief. Disbelief that she died under her son's wheels, disbelief that the person she cursed to die yesterday had become herself. She truly didn't have time for any other reaction, not even time to struggle, because she was already dead. In her final consciousness, did she regret giving birth to such social scum? But she deserved her fate. Of all the people who died under Zhang Tiansheng's wheels, she was the one who deserved it the most. Zhang Tiansheng finally braked. He lifted his head, just catching my eye from the window. He was startled for a moment until I, having witnessed everything, deliberately smiled, then bared his yellowed teeth again, as if warning me that he was cool, that he wasn't afraid to kill, telling me not to provoke him. I returned his smile, genuinely this time. I smiled joyfully. Finally, I felt immense pleasure. At the fated moment, I had reversed everything. I had saved my mother. And as for Zhang Tiansheng, I opened my mouth and told him, "You're finished." He didn't care, calmly got out of the car, closed the door with an attitude of unconcern, and slowly pressed the button to call the police. 110, I just accidentally hit someone, I think. He suddenly stopped, unable to utter another word. Zhang Xiu's empty eyes stared at him. She was already dead. Brains splattered everywhere. On the ground was a mix of red and white. Mom. A heartbreaking scream echoed from downstairs. 2 tire tracks, one on her head, one on her legs, just like in the past life, beyond saving, as dead as one could be. Zhang Xiu also had an older brother, meaning Zhang Tiansheng's uncle. At the trial, he casually dismissed the matter, saying compensation was enough. Zhang Tiansheng's face was gloomy. Even though the deceased was his biological mother, he stuck to his old testimony. "I accidentally ran over her, I thought it was a dog." He gritted his teeth, speaking breathlessly, clearly quite shaken, but with this kind of malicious, antisocial person, one naturally couldn't hope to sway him with kinship. A son killing his mother, this incident sparked a massive public discussion. The entire building avoided Zhang Tiansheng as if he had the plague. The police constantly came to investigate. Zhang Tiansheng was very good at faking it. He pretended to be in extreme pain, silent and confused. The road had no cameras, so ultimately he was not convicted. This incident would probably be forgotten by time, just like before, but I had previously installed over a dozen miniature cameras in flower pots, in tile crevices, and even hanging from trees. They recorded every moment Zhang Tiansheng pressed the accelerator and the brake. I had also long since backed up the autopsy reports of previous victims. I posted the video online, bought several influential accounts, and combined with the heat of the son kills mother case, the post quickly soared to the top of search trends. Truck driver single-handedly caused 3 deaths. Where is the morality? That night, Zhang Tiansheng stood outside my peephole, roaring, "You son of a bitch, get out here, I know it was you." Why would I be stupid enough to open the door for him? I slowly played a recording. In it, Zhang Tiansheng laughed maniacally. "That's right, I intentionally ran them over. Who knows, maybe one day I'll run you over too. This old man's insurance costs me 20,000 yuan a year, so what if it buys one life?" After playing the recording, Zhang Tiansheng's face, which had just been filled with towering rage, was now only horror. If the video could still be explained away as an operational error, with this added, he was surely dead. Zhang Tiansheng dropped to his knees with a thud, utterly terrified. "Oh, my auntie, we have no grudge, no enmity. I beg you please, don't post it, I beg you. I'll do anything you want. I apologize to you, I was too arrogant before. I apologize to you, I really am a bastard." He kowtowed to me, slapping his own face, begging me to forgive him. I scoffed coldly, saying impassively, "We have no grudge, no enmity." His eyes darted around, and he jolted to his feet. "About your mother, I'll go tell everyone that I fabricated everything. Auntie Lan has a bodhisattva heart, she will definitely forgive me." At this moment, I opened the door. My father stood next to me, holding a chainsaw. My mother, her face troubled, asked me, "Jiang Kaio, do we really have to do this?" I nodded. She immediately raised her hand and swung it hard at Zhang Tiansheng's face. "All right, Mom has been waiting for this day for a long time." My own mother. It turns out she was this strong, even I was stunned. Zhang Tiansheng clutched his face, gritting his teeth, very angry but could only force out a pleading smile. "What's settled then, I'll go clear her name. We won't talk about the recording anymore." I kicked him in the face. "You still dare to make conditions? It must be said that people truly value their lives the most." Zhang Tiansheng's face was livid with anger, but he could only hunch over. "Okay, I'll do it first." In Zhang Tiansheng's eyes, I truly had no other enmity with him. As long as I was satisfied and we could discuss money or other conditions later, perhaps I would truly spare him. But I had only 2 purposes for being reborn: for my mother to live and for him to die. Zhang Tiansheng went to the neighborhood chat group and cursed at himself and Zhang Xiu. Everyone finally cleared my mother's name. If he can even lay hands on his own mother, what kind of good person is he? I knew Sister Kinglin wasn't that kind of person. Does he still have the nerve to speak up? Kick him out. Does Sister Kinglin need him to clear her name? You and your mother are both rotten. Zhang Tiansheng was heavily insulted, but he didn't have the presence of mind to deal with it. He urgently sought me out. "Sister, it's all done." "That recording?" I stood behind the door, smiling. "The recording? The police are already downstairs. I said I wouldn't post it online, but I didn't say I wouldn't send it to the police. The police investigated very quickly, coupled with the ever-increasing online attention. The 2 previous wrongful cases were also reopened for investigation. Very quickly, it was confirmed that they had been intentionally run over and killed. I used to follow this case for a long time, then it suddenly went silent. I hope for a fair verdict. I support the death penalty, otherwise it's too easy for him. Disgusting, I hope this will rectify the current traffic environment. Half a month later, the results were announced. Against a clear white background with blue text, the verdict was announced. Suspect Zhang Tiansheng is guilty of intentional homicide with particularly serious circumstances, sentenced to death. As soon as the verdict was released, Zhang Tiansheng collapsed in his chair, completely broken. He agitatedly grabbed the microphone, no longer able to pretend. Why? Those people were all deliberately trying to blackmail me. I was just teaching them a lesson. They deserve to die more than I do, he screamed, uttering antisocial rhetoric. Judicial police came to handcuff him and lead him away. The law would provide the most accurate answers to all his questions. In my past life, I resented the unfair fate that allowed the wicked to roam free, but in reality, everything is fair. Karma eventually comes, it's just a matter of time. Afterwards, things slowly settled. Cameras were installed on all the roads in the old apartment complex. The families of the 2 previous victims came to thank me. A long time had passed, but when mentioning their deceased loved ones, they still couldn't hold back tears. Miss, you are truly a good person. My sister can finally rest in peace. Saying this, several people intended to kneel and bow to me. I quickly helped them up. It's nothing, just doing what's right. Justice resides in people's hearts. They asked if I had any animosity with Zhang Tiansheng and why I helped them. My father sat on the sofa, waving his hand. It was just a coincidence. My mother's tragic death was a topic he still didn't want to bring up. Seeing my father's eyes welling up, I smiled and said, I just did what needed to be done. My mother finished cutting watermelon and brought it from the kitchen, each slice juicy. She invited everyone to help themselves. Just bought it, it's very sweet. The scene was as peaceful as any ordinary afternoon, but this normalcy was something unobtainable in my past life. 6 months later, on the day Zhang Tiansheng's death sentence was carried out, my father took us to a restaurant, an extremely expensive steakhouse. My mother frowned with concern. Did you win the lottery? Why are you spending so much? My father drank wine, his face red, whether from drunkenness or excitement, I didn't know. What's money? We should enjoy every day we're alive. He kept piling food onto my mother's plate until it was almost a mountain. I gave him a glare. Dad, can you please stop embarrassing us? People will think we're starving. My mother smiled kindly. Never mind, he's happy and I'm happy too. In their eyes, sparkling tears shone. At this very moment, I suddenly had an intuition, as if all 3 of us were savoring every recovered moment of loss and gain. I tilted my head slightly, seeing my mother's profile. My ears rang, and I couldn't hear anything. My mother suddenly wiped her tears, muttering to herself, "What is this? I'm really alive again." The realization hit me, and suddenly I couldn't swallow the piece of meat in my mouth. No wonder she always sided with my father. Even when she knew he was lying, she didn't react much. It must have been painful, Mom, I thought. No one seemed to hear my unspoken question, but it didn't matter anymore. Outside the restaurant, on the overpass, the car lights stretched into an endless golden ribbon. My father was truly drunk, bragging to my mother, "Let me tell you, if that woman with the knife ever comes again, I'll definitely kill her." "Oh, stop it. Didn't she already go to a mental hospital? Tell me, do you still have the dashing looks you had when you were young? What's so great about you anyway?" My mother teased my father, pouring me a glass of my favorite cherry juice. The light was bright, the air warm. These ordinary days, we could live for many, many more years to come.